Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalrin, and today I'm going to have a discussion with you guys. I've been getting this question a lot more often. It's a question that goes by lines of these. Hey Dalrin, what do you think will be the best rogue spec for PvP in Legion? Now, I want to answer this because it's going to be a controversial question. And why is it controversial? Is because there's multiple ways to look at Legion and different specs, and some people will have a spec favorite, so they would want their spec to be, I guess, the most viable one, and they will have reasoning for it. The answer would be by a common mind. There's no easy way to answer this. There's no answer. You don't have an answer because we're so early into the alpha of Legion. We don't even have a beta. We don't even have close to a final build, so we won't know how it's going to be down the line. But what we can do is take a guess from the artifact weapon talents that we get, from class talents and PvP talents that are available for all three specs, as well as the abilities that all three specs are gaining. And that's what I want to do in today's video. Today's video is going to be on December 12th, 2015, so that is the information that we will be applying to in terms of Legion as in the alpha. If more information comes to the surface as well, I might be able to make a video covering everything that was covered in this video and basically recover it with the new information. But as far as we know right now, as of December 12th, this is the information that I have to work with. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let's get on to it. Now I have a notepad right here, and I'll have all the information displayed on the screen as well. First we have Assassination. Some of the things that Assassination will have as an advantage to other specs of Rogue. It'll have a silence, which other specs of Rogues are losing altogether. Garrote will be only for Assassination, and it'll be an opener based ability. It won't be something that's, an out of opener based ability. You'll also have access to stuns such as Cheap Shot and Kidney. You'll have a sap that is a CC shared between Assassination and Subtlety, and you'll have Crippling Poison. A lot of rogue specs are losing perma-slows of any sort, but Crippling Poison is staying with Assassination, and you'll be able to basically poison your target and slow them at all times as long as you are auto-attacking them. That is something other specs are losing, so this is an important thing in PvP. Ever imagine yourself not rolling with a Crippling Poison? Basically, you'll have any Feral, any Red Pally, any DK even, just simply running away from you, let alone casters and healers. Now when we take a look at the artifact weapons, talents, and PvP talents, we have a lot of damage variations for Assassination. Basically, your talents is just multiple ways of dealing dot-based damage, poison-based damage, bleed-based damage, CC-based damage, basically more than one playstyle for Assassination altogether in terms of how it's going to function for PvP. Some of your artifact weapons capabilities are to make your shadow step reset sprint so you can chase your targets a lot more often and to be able to keep up with your targets at all times, and even reduce Vendetta's cooldown to 1 minute 30 seconds, making it very deadly for PvP. Damage when casting or damage when moving for PvP is going to be something that's going to be coming from PvP talents. Basically, if you're facing against a healer-based cleave, healer-based team, if you hit them with a casting while damaging PvP poison, as long as they're casting spells, they're going to be taking nature damage. So basically you can put this damage over time onto a target that has to heal, that has to cast, and if they just stop casting and self-CC themselves for a moment, then that's the only way they can break the poisons. Same thing goes for damage while moving poisons. So a lot of different playstyles and capabilities for Assassination altogether, making it pretty viable for PvP. And if I just read all this information from the beginning without even looking at Outlaw and Subtlety, I would want to say Assassination is PvP geared. Now we take a look at the Outlaw Rogue spec. One of the things to notice is Outlaw Rogue will have access to Blind as the only spec with access to Blind, with Blind on a 20-second cooldown. Then you'll have access to Gouge, again only spec with a Gouge. You will have a ranged stun, which is again the only spec with ranged stun, and some ranged capabilities due to pistol shot mechanic, but you will lack somewhat in mobility. No more burst of speed or any abilities like that. You will only have base access to ability of sprint. You will have some talent options to be able to increase your auto attack range by 3 yards, increase your movement speed flat by 30%, or even give yourself a grappling hook, which is a lot like the effect of a warrior's heroic leap. In a way, it can be used as a shadow step with a swap based mechanic. Some of its artifact weapons capabilities are to make Cloak heal you every time you take magic damage, as well as heal you for every magical effect that it cleanses off, making you much more tankier against caster based cleaves. Also, your riposte can give you a combo point every time you parry an attack. So if a caster cleave just turns on you and swaps on you, being able to apply ability of riposte, you'll be able to gain a lot more combo points to turn the tide of battle. So your artifact weapons, while they don't really increase yourself in PvP, they do give you PvP based capabilities, allowing you to be more of a nuisance in a sort of a karma style effect for PvP. You'll also have some AoE heals or a selection of strong self-heal when it comes to your PvP talents, as you can basically make yourself more duel heavy or more team support heavy in terms of arenas. You'll also have the ability of Plunder, which kind of brings back a disarm in a way. Plunder will reduce your opponent's health and damage by 20%, and you'll gain those attributes to yourself, increasing your own health and damage by 20%. It's kind of like a disarm mechanic in a way, and it kind of brings back disarm in a certain sense. While Outlaw Rogues does lack heavily in mobility, but it does have a high increase in terms of CC-based capabilities, and I've never seen CC-based capabilities as a negative influence in terms of PvP. So I feel like all in all, altogether, Outlaw is basically PvP geared simply because it has this much CC opportunity and can be useful in more than one comp, more than one BG group, more than one combination of players and classes playing together. I feel like Outlaw, in terms of basically PvP, it benefits highly in CC, and that's kind of what's given it an edge against other specs of Rogue. Then we have Subtlety, which has a lot of questions, and the questions, I mean, there's a lot of mechanics for Subtlety which give it benefits while you're in stealth. The issue with Subtlety is they won't get actual buff of stealth in terms of PvP combat. Well, they changed to Shadow Dance every time you use a finisher at 20 combo points per combo point used on a finisher, 5 combo points giving you a 100% chance. Shadow Dance effect will basically, at 5 combo points in a finisher, will put you in stealth and give you access to stealth-based abilities. Blizzard stated in a blue post they don't want Subtlety to keep going into stealth in terms of PvP. That would be too much of a nuisance in arenas and would maybe give them too much of an edge in terms of overall PvP combat to basically be able to go into stealth and stay there forever until you recover all your health and all your energy and basically make the game a little flat. But if Subtlety does not get benefits of all these stealth-based abilities, then it's not really going to be able to be as competitive in terms of PvP, because you are losing on mechanics that are going to make a spec a lot more effective and a lot more powerful, all in all. If they still get the benefits of stealth-based abilities, but they don't get the stealth itself, then I feel like Subtlety will be just fine for PvP from the get-go. But that is something I want to preface before talking about the sub-spec altogether. Subtlety will basically have lack in CC. You'll have Cheap Shot, Kidney, and Sap as your CC-based capabilities, and that's about it. Your slow is going to be a magical slow, which applied with combo points. The question is it dispellable? If it is dispellable, or it can be shifted by a druid, then it's going to be a nightmare having to play against druids as Subtlety. But you do have high mobility and on-demand mobility that takes up your energy, so that might put Subtlety up ahead, and if you have a lot of damage, then the lack of CC will probably be less problematic. One of the advantages of Subtlety, it can generate a ton of combo points at just about every single corner because of your auto attacks and shadow techniques ability, which gives you a chance on auto attacks to generate a combo point, and you can increase that chance through your artifact weapons. You have many ways of dealing damage when it comes to PvP talents and class talents, and I'm not even going to be able to cover all of them because there's more than one playstyle. There's the Bursty Opener playstyle, there's the Consistent Damage playstyle, there's the Mass Combo Point playstyle, there's even a Magical Damage playstyle to be able to get through the melee's armor and be able to dish out more damage to any melee cleave in the game. Through your PvP talents, you can offer a lot more stealth bonuses, such as every time you get an open onto a target, you are immune to physical counters such as stuns and any other physical CC as well as physical attacks. Be able to dish out 100% more damage the more patiently you just wait and stealth next to your targets, and even give you an ability of a Smoke Bomb. Smoke Bomb is an ability on its own that is only Subtlety based in terms of PvP talents, at the very last tier of PvP talents. So this ability on its own has been a great benefit to rogues ever since I remember days of Cataclysm, where all you need to do at one point is just CC the target you are killing, throw them in a stun, throw a smoke bomb, and you could basically ignore the healer because the healer simply can't get cast into the smoke bomb. So it basically made you less CC reliant in a way, even though Subtlety had amazing CC as it does today. If Subtlety is going to be losing a lot of its CC capabilities but still gaining Smoke Bomb and having high damage altogether, a lot like that of Warrior who only has a stun and a fear as a baseline CC based capability, Subtlety Warg would have a sap and a cheap shot as a baseline CC capability. As long as Subtlety has high on-demand damage that is fairly easy to manipulate, then having Smoke Bomb and being able to hold the target in the Smoke Bomb just for a few seconds might give it a high advantage over other specs, but we simply don't know until we get more information about Subtlety. And this is basically all I can tell you guys so far that I know of the 3 rogue specs coming out in Legion. Off the bat, I would want to say Assassination is PvP viable. It's basically the same Assassination that we know and love today, and basically resembles all the 3 rogue specs that are currently played in WoD. However, maybe the meta will make it so Assassination is not as viable because it won't have access to the CC. If meta is CC heavy, I feel like Outlaw will definitely take its charge. So off the bat, I want to say Outlaw and Assassination are PvP viable. Subtlety, on the other hand, if it has high base damage that I'm expecting for it to, then it'll be 100% viable. It'll basically be a very mobile warrior-like spec for rogues if it has a lot of damage capabilities. If not, then Subtlety might be gone by the wayside, with the fact that its magical slow could be dispellable or basically shifted by Feral Druid, its capability of damage if it's not as high as I expected to, and its lack of CC could make it less of a reliant spec. While it can be a good hit and run spec with its mobility on demand, if it has a lot of damage to back it up, then I would feel like it would be a good spec, but otherwise we just have no idea. So all I can go off is information that I'm given as of December 12th, yeah, and everything we know currently in Legion. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. My name is Dalren. Let me know which spec do you think is going to be the best for PvP. Let me know your reasoning why, and I'll see you guys in the next video.